I'm your host, Sammy Smith, Junior Wildcat over here at El Camino High for this segment, Past and Present, on the WildCast CamCast show with guest Kristen Wanamaker. Could you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Kristen Wanamaker.
It's so nice to have you. I just wanted to talk about the differences of, you went to El Camino, right?
Yeah, I went to El Camino, graduated in 1987, and I've been teaching at El Camino since 1996.
And you're a Algebra 2 and Geometry teacher, right?
Yeah, currently that's what I teach, yeah.
That's cool. I just wanted to chat about the differences of what you went through and how you observe now. For example, what kind of classes did you take, or how did they differ from now?
Well, the classes are close to the same, but some differences are like in math. We had a class offered called trigonometry, and we don't have a specific trigonometry class anymore, but we do teach trigonometry within geometry and algebra 2 and math analysis and so on. But more interesting is how we picked our classes, because now students go to their counselors and their counselors help them out, which we did the same, but after our counselors told us what classes we needed to take, all of the teachers were at a table inside the F building. And you would go to the teacher who you wanted to be in that class, whether it was because the content you wanted or you loved that teacher. And of course, the popular teachers got filled up fast. So you had to go to those teachers' tables quickly, and they would write your name down, and you had just this little piece of paper. They signed it, and you were in that class. There were no computers, so we didn't do it that way. There was a computer class, though, interestingly, but that was back in the day when computers were just the most rare thing. They weren't in all classes. They weren't in people's homes back then. But yeah, so picking our classes was very, very different. And you had a lot more choice as a student to get who you wanted and what you wanted. But also some differences were just like security. We had 2 security guards, and we didn't even call them security guards. It's not a nice name, but we called them narcs because they would tell on you if you did something bad. But there was only 2. And now I don't know how many, it's got to be 20 or more. But it was a very different world back then.
Yeah, it must have been super different about the social norms and stuff like that. Could you remember any rules that differed from then and now?
Some, things, I don't know if the rules so much differed. Just that statement about all the security. Now it's probably a little harder to ditch. I don't know if I should say this because I was a regular teenager, and we would go to one of us might be 18 my senior year, and they would go to the office and you'd get a slip of paper that said 18, and that meant you could leave because you had a doctor's appointment, maybe, or something like that. And then we would pile people into whoever had the largest car, and you would just hide them in the back, and we would take off. I didn't, of course, but some people did.
Yeah.
So anyway, there was just that one narc who might check your pass, and you were off the campus.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rules are still the same, but I think probably we got away with more because there were fewer security guards checking in on us.
Yeah.
Sadly.
That's
not me, of course.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. You're a great student. If you could remember the best and worst moments of El Camino, if possible.
There were so many great moments. I wasn't a very popular student, but I hung around with a relatively popular crowd. And that has little to do with it, except that they were very involved, I should say. They were in ASB, I wasn't. But because they were involved and they were my group of friends, we all went to the dances, everybody. It felt to me like everybody did, but I'm sure that's my perception. And I'm sure it's kind of the same as it is now, where your group of friends goes, so you all go. But it felt like we all went to the dances, and I don't know that that's the case anymore. I feel like maybe a higher percentage went back then, and maybe a higher percentage had more school spirit back then. Again, that could be my perception because my group of friends were involved and had high spirit. But another memory I have just talking about spirit is in the gym, we had painted on the wall the alma mater. And at every pep rally, every student sang the alma mater. And we would put our arms around each other's shoulders, and it was just this bonding moment. I know that song, and I'm not sure very many students today know the alma mater.
No.
But we were just tighter, it felt like.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Me personally, I I have to admit I don't know the alma mater,
Yeah.
and that's
I'm not
going to
sing it for you, but I feel like maybe our choir could like help somehow get students to know that, and we could play it on ECTV or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
That'd
a
be
really
cool.
good idea. Also, like your food process, how was that experience? Because I know a lot of kids nowadays, they're like, oh, well, our food kind of sucks, and the lines are so long, you can't even get food nowadays.
I don't remember if the food was good or bad, and I suspect it was probably the same level as it is today. But it was very, very different. Because of the sheer number of students we have at El Camino now, there are food, like the trucks that pop up at the break and at lunch. None of that happened. There was just the cafeteria, and there was long lines at the cafeteria, and you just waited and got what you got. But I don't remember the quality of the food. It was probably very much the same. But I do think today you have more options than we had, just because of all those trucks that are around. And I've seen things like, I've seen days, and I don't know if they still do, but as a teacher, I've seen days where they had pizza. We didn't have pizza. I don't think that happened. It was just like the traditional school cafeteria food, whatever that may be. I don't remember. But there were a lot of other, though, big differences. I mean, for example, just the layout of the school. There were basically 3 main buildings. There was the F building, the D building, which we called the 400s and the 200s. They didn't have letter names. And there was the library.
Yeah.
Of course, there was administration also, but that was it. There was the gym.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Thank you so much for talking about your stories with us today. And we'll be right back on our next WildCast segment, EC Insight. You won't want to miss out on an exclusive interview with El Camino's talented music director, Mr. James.